Train leaves in 10 minutes. We gotta go. We gotta go.
I'm not leaving without her.
She's gone.
You don't know that.
I do know that. You're gonna have to start coming to terms with reality. Those things, they were just...
If the returns from the seismic charges accurately reflect voids beneath the surface,
Billy.
She could have found a space to shelter it.
Stop!
I couldn't hold on, Lee. I tried to, but I let her go.
You didn't listen to me. I told her not to go. Why didn't you listen to me?
I'm sorry, Lee.
It's too late for that now.
Hey, Kaiju fans and Podcastica listeners. Welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Dimitri.
And this is going to be a spoiler-full podcast about Monarch Season 2, Episode 9, entitled Ends of the Earth.
Monarch had the team head to Skull Island. Kei tries to reason with Kentaro and stop Isabel. Shaw and Keiko search for Billy's long-lost rift.
Yeah. And overall thoughts. What were your thoughts about this? Because this is going back almost to the movie of Kong Skull Island, or even in between that point, from the 60s into the 70s at this point. So we were left off at that point where they're picking up information about Billy, and Monarch's trying to help them while they tracking Apex at this point, or Isabel's quote unquote Apex, and what they're planning on doing. So what were your overall thoughts? Did you find this episode intriguing, or do you think we're going to get more in the next episode, which is going to be probably the finale?
Yep, definitely going to get more in terms of monster action in the last episode. Overall, for this episode, I think my initial thoughts was, hey, we are getting some of the side of the grief and anger that some people would have after a tragedy, where it's like anger at everything, and then being so desperate to get what they lost, no matter the ways to get it back. And I both love and hate it. I love how we get in it because it's like a realistic side of like grief, of wanting to like get the thing back, because we all have that after we lost someone. It's like, I wish you could go back. I wish I could go back to stop it from happening. And it's like, yeah, you realistic ones, but at the same time, I want to strangle. But at the same time, with me being a viewer and pretty much already knowing where it was gonna go, I want to strangle Kentaro because of that.
Well, there's also the elephant in the room. I mentioned it a while ago about how Axis Mundai could be utilized for like a time machine.
Yeah.
And that is what Isabel's thought was to contain people in a certain point, stop and halt time, and then come back at a later point in life. And you could be there for a week and it would be 10 years later or something like that. And she's trying to utilize that and capitalize that as like a business opportunity. And that literally sums up what the whole situation is what she's doing with Apex's like their technology and their credibility within the universe, and that is where it lies. And we don't know where this lies, because right now it's what, 2017, 2019 at
Yes.
this point,
2017.
and we're already now in 2026. So obviously some of this stuff did not happen. So something's going to happen in the meantime of the show where they're going to have to stop it. Monarch or Apex will stop it at a certain point. But we get a lot within the story itself, because Kei actually gets information about Billy within that time. We see that it's Grand Central Station that is Kong Skull Island.
Mhm.
And he was there for a point. Do we get to see Billy at a later point at the end of the season? Does Kei get to see him? But within the episode, we get the whole Randa issue of Randa's being against Randa at that
Yep.
point. Yeah. And Shaw is trying to help Keiko and kind of figure out what the situation is. Do we get Keiko and Shaw in the films later on? And that would be really cool if we do. But within this particular episode, we get a lot of Tim showing courage and engagement and showing his authority in Monarch and trying to get everything working for it. Whereas Kentaro is still a little bit hesitant and wanting to work with Isabel, even though he's being manipulated.
Yeah.
So, not to sum everything up in one whole little paragraph, everybody, but there were moments within the episode that were really cool. And I love how we left off where Godzilla's in pursuit of Titan X in the sea, with Monarch in a deep pursuit, and questioning Apex and Monarch about their pursuits in the process at the same time, and Godzilla making a stand. Godzilla didn't destroy Titan X. It's there making a stand. And I kind of said it before. It's like the Gen X parent that just says, grabs Titan X and throws it to Axis Mundai, or you have to go here.
Yeah.
And and honestly, like I stated, the way it was is parenting issues. But the thing is, it's what Godzilla does. It creates order, and they're trying to create a particular order within Titans in this world. And Godzilla knows that Titan X doesn't belong here in this world and needs to go back into Axis Mundai. So Godzilla is trying to push it back into Axis Mundai. But the Titan was just waiting, and Titan X knows that they have to move back. Godzilla won't destroy the Titan. They just want to make sure that they get back to Axis Mundai. And that's the whole thing. I hate sounding redundant and keep saying the same thing over and over again. But the thing is that that's what Godzilla does. It creates order out of chaos of what's going on within these Titans.
Yeah.
And now we have the group between Apex and Monarch, both working opposites of one another of what they want to do. We already know that Isabel wants to utilize this force to utilize that Axis Mundai as a time machine for people. Do you get that feeling too? Of like
Yes.
they
Yes.
want to use it as a time machine, and
Yes, Isabel, like, oh, I mean, she didn't say, no, no, or not when Kate, confronted her saying, like, oh, you want to use, Access Monday for your own personal time machine, and Isabel was like, j, 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 like, did it, I refute that, so, like, lovely. But, uh, I, I love like not to go back, but I love
good,
Godzilla in the beginning.
yeah,
Um, I I feel I like to call this characterization um the Dominion characterization from the comic Godzilla Dominion, because during that it takes place in after King of the Monsters, where he goes around the road,
Mhm.
and whatever Titans is misbehaving, he just gives them a swift kick in the tail, probably a little bit of stomps, and maybe a little bit of a left hook, and put it back in their place and just send them off. He does that with Skilla.
Mhm.
You You know, the story about the lost nuclear warhead or bomb in Georgia or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, like off the coast of Georgia or something like that, Skiller felt that the bomb was there and was trying to um uh eat it essentially. Godzilla
Mhm.
came knowing that if it goes boom, it won't be fun for the humans. So he kind of kicks Skilla off, and then he went to South America. I forgot where, but it was Behemoth's containment outpost,
Mhm.
because the Behemoth just wanted to go back to sleep. Essentially,
Yeah,
he wants to
literally,
go back into his containment area and just sleep.
and hibernate. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think it was a nuke or something like that. Another Titan from the Monsterverse was given Behemoth trouble, took off his tusk, and then Godzilla appears, beats a nuke, I think a nuke or something like that, into submission.
Mhm.
And then let Behemoth go back into his containment area to sleep. Then helped another Titan from, I think it was Monarch, but it was hijacked, well, like a hijacked thing, from I believe Jonah's people. I want to say it
Oh,
happens
really?
in. It actually happens in the beginning of the novelization of King of the Monsters.
Ah.
So I forgot what the Titan's name is, but she was caught in some nets and was trying to get free, was trying to go and hibernate. So Godzilla came, freed her, and let her go off to hibernate again. So,
Yeah. Well,
uh,
basically,
still,
Godzilla's been
yeah.
like consolidating a lot of the Titans at this point
Yeah,
and
and
putting them
Musax
in their
is,
place.
yeah. Yeah, Musax is no different because Godzilla uh, realized that it was probably way too early for her to come up to the surface, and
Hmm.
was obviously very lost. So he did sort of try to beat her into submission after she got aggressive, f to protect her, to protect her egg. But after that, he just makes sure she goes back to Skull Island and on her way home and just dipped.
Yeah, trying to get Titan X back to where they need to be. and pretty much how Godzilla is bringing into the Titans that are on the Earth in getting them back to Axis Mundai, so that way they're not on the surface world. That's the whole point. They want, like, Godzilla is moderating what's going on in the surface world. And the surface world at this point thinks, oh, Godzilla's a threat.
Mhm.
No, Godzilla's not a threat. Same thing with Kong. Kong is trying to be structural within Skull Island. But the thing is that Skull Island, as we know from this particular episode, yes, spoilers, everybody, it's Grand Central Station. That's where everything leads to, with all this, like, points of access, as I should say. Axis Mundai, or access points from Axis Mundai. And we do get that within the episode. We still get the issues of Kentaro and Kate, of where they stand and how they're working out where they stand,
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah, I like how they're sort of like decides of the saying coin that got a little bit flipped. But now in terms of grief with losing their dad, Kate's the one that feels the most guilty but accepts what happened. Kentaro does accept what happened and wanted to bring him back back, even if it doesn't work, or if it does work, then it would just change a lot of things that that we don't know,
Yeah.
and make a completely new thing that in like 2 episodes ago or something like that, 2, I don't know. Shaw was like, you know what? No, wait, it was Suzuki's like, actually, Shaw, maybe you shouldn't let past you save past Keiko just yet.
Yeah,
Because you don't know
exactly.
what would happen. So it's like, so I really see those two being two sides of like Keiko and Kentaro being two sides of the same coin, just flipped.
Kind of
with
the
the
yin and
grief.
yang that I talked
Yeah.
about last episode of podcast. Yeah, they are completely opposite of what they used to be. And we got Kei and Shaw working together and divulging and going old school and reading Billy's notes, and then figuring everything out within Skull Island and realizing that everything leads to, all the roads lead to Skull Island.
Yeah, then with the boneyard, finally seeing that again. A small part of it.
Yeah, we get to
From
see
the ground
something
level,
that came
but
from Kong Skull Island, the
Yeah.
movie, and the battle scene, and where supposedly, Billy had died at that point. She
and
sees his
somehow his
camera.
somehow his camera survived with
Yeah,
moderate damage. I would have thought that thing was at least partially
destroyed.
mounted.
Yeah, exactly.
But hey, maybe he had two cameras there. Who knows?
Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah. And then I figured out that it was the central station of the Axis Mundai, um, quote unquote subway system.
Mm-hmm.
With and the note that Billy left in
Several
each
places
of
with
every
every drops he's done
yeah
from different points in different time periods. Like, what was it, Loch Ness Monster area?
Loch Ness, Papua New Guinea, Kazakhstan. He went back there.
1971 at certain point too, which was like, wow.
At 73.
in 73 too, where we know that he was there on Kong Skull Island. So it's like, is he really gone? Is he really gone? Will we see John Goodman come back?
Yeah, imagine if that was the twist, either in like a flashback or just
It'd be
or just
amazing if it's like a
photograph.
twist, and then we get him and Kurt Russell in one scene with our character who plays Keiko in one scene, and her seeing him as an older Billy Randa from 1973. And, I've said this because literally what we got was a flashback from like what, 1970, 1971. You can see Billy was a little bit
71.
hefty.
Yeah, I
But
think they were trying to get him to look like more like John Goodman in that one.
I think so too. And I would not put it past that we do get a John Goodman. And if John Goodman comes back, I'll be so happy. I'll be like, oh my God, he came back. Yes, awesome.
I would be fine if it was like a flashback, like before the Skull Island mission, like on the boat or whatnot, and all you see is Goodwin Randa just sitting in his room on like the one ship that was carrying the helicopters and whatnot, just writing the latest and last note to Keiko to send down. And then he gets the call of, okay, so we're ready. And he's like, okay. And then folds it up, put it in his pocket, and then go off to the chopper to go to Skull Island. I'd be fine with that if we get to see John Goodwin at all. Goodman. Him at all.
Yeah, I know, right? To me, honestly, I would love to see that, to get John Goodman back into the fold as part of a cast character. All we got from him was literally, if you think about it, was season 1, episode 1, and that was it. Yeah. And that was long after Kong Skull Island from when did it come out? Like 2017?
2017. Yeah, 2017, which is hilarious.
And I'm like, oh my God. So
2017 in Universe 2017.
Well, the thing is also, if you think about it, Keiko had lived down there for how many years?
Like
60 years?
Close to, probably.
Yeah. So
yeah, because 2004 was the 50th, and then 2014 was this, I believe, the 60th, and then 2024 was the 70th.
Yeah.
So I think around 60 something years, or close to 60 something years.
Yeah. And I wouldn't put it past, because time does halt for people. It did it for Lee Shaw at a certain point, and it halted his aging. Keiko was halted at that point from 1958 all the way until this time. Now she's a grandma to Kentaro and Kate, and she looks like she did when she left. And the same thing could literally happen for Billy Randa at this point in 1973, if he gets trapped in something and he didn't get eaten or whatever by a kaiju.
That would be a really interesting what if story someone should do.
I would love to see it, and I would love to hear it. I would love
especially in the yeah, especially in the context of the things we now know about his character.
Yeah, because he's left a lot. He left a lot of diaries, a lot of maps, a lot of information. And we already knew that from Kong Skull Island back in 2017 when we saw that movie. And then all we saw after that was the first episode of Monarch that came out like what, 3 years ago? So the first season. So it's a possibility that he could still be alive. I think it's a possibility. And I'm an advocate for this. Not for the fact that I want to see John Goodman, but I think Billy's story is not done yet. And I think if they do end this show or they end a specific season, Shaw will exit, whereas Billy will come back. And I think that is more important to remember and think about.
Yeah.
But I think that will be a whole Keiko and Billy story at that point. Because we've had a Keiko and Shaw story at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if next season we have a whole Keiko and Shaw story. And then it leads into where we see Shaw exit and then Billy come in. And I would love to see that. And I would love to see what had happened to Billy at that time in 1973 when during that possible demise and he comes back.
Imagine after the skull crawler he was in just kind of busts open from the flames. He just drops in somehow a little sliver of the rift under the specific skull crawler. It is just
and he just falls in. You know, it's just like
I mean he's probably a little bit burned from stomach acid, but
and he literally has to like survive at that point. And you know, Axis Mundai, and what am I doing here? And then he has all the people. Well, to think about it too. We already know everything else from the last Godzilla X Kong movie. The people. Maybe those people had taken care of him. And that's a possibility. He learned their language, was able to learn everything about this. Very much like how I'm forgetting the actor's name from Kong Skull Island, the crazy guy who loves the Cubs. Yeah, the Cubbies.
I know it's his J.C. Riley, I think it was.
Yeah.
Marlowe, I believe his name is that's his name was Marlowe.
So they could take him into their, they could take Billy into their world, and then he learns their language, and he becomes some sort of, not deity, but somebody who is in charge, and he learns their ways, but can't get out because he knows the real world. I wouldn't put it past the writers to be like, oh, here we go.
I mean,
Billy Randa is alive. He's a little bit scarred, and
yeah. It would be a very like interesting thing for them to see, and just have it be the whole death fake out to the extreme somehow.
It would work.
Sort of like it would be the Godzilla's the Monsterverse version of Palpatine's, and somehow Palpatine has returned.
Well, the same thing. Well, look at what happened with Keiko. Keiko was dropped, and we thought she dead. Remember?
Oh yeah, like Oh, there she goes. We hardly knew ye.
Exactly. And then she comes back a
Though
season later.
I will say that with Keiko, she wasn't. She just fell. She wasn't eaten like Billy was. But hey, at this point, it's 100%.
You have to suspend your disbelief.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
100% a Godzilla property now, just like the MonsterVerse movies.
Yes.
They even though I'm still like a little bit bummed. Like I kind of wish we still had that tone and not this fantastical things. But at the end of
Hmm.
the day, despite that, I'm still loving what we are getting. If they want to go that deep with a sci-fi um with the off the wall sci-fi,
Yeah.
have at it. I will still enjoy
We
it.
will always enjoy it. That's the whole point of it. If
Hmm.
you guys remember the movie or the show La Brea, that was very hard to watch. And you had to suspend your disbelief because of time, existence, and everything else. And they put things in place. I don't know if you guys listened to or have watched the show La Brea. It only lasted 3 seasons. It was pretty good for what it was. We'll probably get something similar to that with the new movie with Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway pretty much soon. What's the movie that I'm talking about?
Um, I I think if I remember correctly, it
Hmm.
might be that one. I think it was the one dinosaur one that's coming out.
Yes, it is. It's
Something
a
it is like
J.J. Abrams movie.
something street.
Yes, very similar to Cloverfield. So, hold on. I will look for it. Tell us your thoughts as I look for this.
Yeah.
Um, what were your thoughts about I'm gonna say Kentaro and Isabel and their conversation because that to me was interesting.
Yeah, Isabel really knows how to get. I don't want to say get under Kataro's skin because uh, that sort of implies like like annoyance, but get into his conscious like knowing exactly what to say and how to say it, and making sure she all is always giving him an out, always saying that it's fine to have his doubts, try to keep him like believing that what she's doing is like 100% for the people and all that, which in all honesty, she could be she could be for the people, but also be going about it all wrong
Yeah, she's
and
manipulative.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so she could be she very honestly could be like Janine went to help people and all of
Uh,
that
But I think she's
like
a little bit
her.
capitalistic. I don't think about.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what
yeah,
you're
like
getting to. She's trying
yeah,
to be
like
capitalistic on the idea of time travel, getting these
yeah,
people to go back and go into
yeah,
Axis
and
Monday and
mhm.
then come back out when they're it's like cheating death.
Yes, like her says about someone going in and they're coming out and this cure for cancer and they can take it
Correct.
and all that.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think it is rooted in good faith, but she's not looking at the full picture
No, she's not.
of of how it could be more dangerous
The
if it
ramifications of
yeah
the process of what she's doing. Yeah.
yeah especially if it does work, and even if it does work.
If it does work, then well, she had done her due diligence, but it could
Things will-
backfire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as it always does. All right, the movie that I was looking for was The End of Oak Street, which is going to be coming out in later 2026. There a lot of people are attributing this to Cloverfield, which I'm a huge fan of, the original
I am
Cloverfield
too.
movie. 10 Cloverfield Lane, which had Mary Elizabeth Winstead, as well as, of all people, John Goodman. And I'm a huge fan of those particular films. They did have another movie that went directly to Netflix that was attributed to Cloverfield.
Yeah, that would be
Paradox.
Yeah, Cloverfield Paradox, which that was like funny because I used to be in like this Discord server, and when it dropped, we didn't realize until someone said about it. Like, wait, did it drop? Yeah, it. I'm looking right now. It did drop.
I literally watched it right after the Super
Yeah.
Bowl, and I watched it on Netflix. And
Yeah, well, we did like a watch along.
all right,
Funnily
cool.
enough, and we like watched the entire thing, and then we spent like an hour or two just theorizing, like, oh, so could be that the two parent kaiju could be in the timeline where the main guy from this movie comes from, and then the baby could go in, and then the baby just popped into the timeline of where it did in the mid 2000s. We just kept going with that.
There could be so many theories when it comes to Cloverfield, which honestly, the only people that would know about this are J.J. Abrams and the guys who wrote the film,
Yeah.
the film series. Originally, at one point, there was another film that was speculated as being part
Overlord.
of Overlord. Yeah, it was another Cloverfield movie that was in World War II, I believe.
Yep, and then I think they scrapped that. Yeah, just made it its own thing, I want to say.
It made it individuality, which is
Yeah.
fine. But with Paradox, they actually showed the monster at the very end. You know, a large monster coming out of the atmosphere of the original Cloverfield monster. But
the mama.
yeah, I know, right? The mama. And on top of that, 10 Cloverfield Lane was more alien based, which understandably is kind of affiliated with it.
Yeah,
And
I think that also takes place in another timeline, if I remember correctly.
I think this stems in like timeline based.
Yeah.
For J.J. Abrams to actually work that out, honestly, it's gonna take a lot. So
yeah, and I do know that he wanted Cloverfield series franchise to be more like the X-Files.
Yes.
Which sort of a miss most of the time, sadly.
Yeah, it is a hit or miss, and I do understand that. Very much almost like what we get with Monarch right now, because everything is right now because the way Shaw actually manipulated a couple of episodes ago, we talked about it with string theory. He's already manipulating the timeline, so we already have divergent, realms at this point.
Yeah, and then that divergence comes from him talking to himself.
Exactly.
And
so
that could be a timeline where Shaw does ignore his older version and just went to
exactly
and helped Keiko, and she gets back home. The same time that Shaw came home and met her son sooner, and adult son sooner, and all that.
Yeah.
I done right. I'm like big on like alternate timelines and universes, as long as it's done right.
Yeah.
And it's shown like its own run, sort of. Like not to bring Power Rangers up, but we
Yeah.
have the main line of Power Rangers
Mhm.
series, which is um Mighty Morphin to Cosmic Fury, but in between some of the seasons, we have seasons that is from alternate universes, like RPM, which is a
Correct.
post-apocalyptic universe,
Mhm.
and then Dino Charge, which actually starts off as a part of, as I like to call it, Earth Prime, because they have universes be called like Earth 1, Earth 118, Earth 1 2, Earth 198, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I like to call the timeline we see the most of as Earth Prime.
Yeah.
And pretty much Dino Charge was a part of that, but then they had to go back in time to save the Earth, and now in the this own timeline that they have,
Mhm.
the dinosaurs are alive and well in present day.
Well,
And I mean, I even dabbled in like different timeline stuff in Power Rangers. Like for example, I have an idea of like the Psycho Ages. For people who don't know, not to go on like on a ramble.
good.
um, but the Psycho Rangers, which is essentially uh evil rangers that astronomer created.
Mhm.
In this timeline, I think of I have it be the Psycho Rangers were already built before their stint as as the Psycho Rangers, and was built on a planet to protect the planet, and then got captured and partially destroyed by the United Alliance of Evil, and was made into the Psycho Rangers we see in the show.
Interesting. So
So
you're
really,
saying,
the possibility is like endless with
well,
timelines.
I think we're really concentrating within the show for Monarch right now is the
Mm-hmm.
prime directive, the prime timeline,
Yeah.
and that's where we're playing at, especially well within Legendary as well as Apple TV Plus. So I think a lot of what we're getting now is what's going to be affecting into the Legendary universe.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, though with Kaiju news later on, there's going to be more of a shared universe within the Toho universe, as we know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But within this universe, we literally get Keiko and Shaw working together, working with older structures with Billy's maps and everything else, finding his tracers, everything that leads to Skull Island, and his literal like message in a bottle to
Yeah.
her. Yeah, to Keiko. And it showed his never-ending love all the way up until the end, up until 1973.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. That's what makes me think that we're gonna get that whole Billy Randa comeback. And I wouldn't put it past the writers for us to
Mm-hmm.
get a Billy Randa comeback. And I would love to see John Goodman come back.
Yeah.
Even though the actor who plays Billy Randa in the 50s all the way into the 60s into the 70s, he's not the same character. But I'm looking
Honestly,
forward to that.
I can't say anything because Magneto in the live action X-Men series.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So I can't complain because I
Ian
like both those
McKellen
Magnetos. So
versus, yeah, I know. To me, I love both actors. Same thing with John Goodman and Holmes or whoever. I'm forgetting his name, but they are doing such great jobs at what they do.
Mhm.
If they bring him back young, that would be amazing. So it'd be a man
Yeah.
out of time, just like Shaw and Keiko. So
Oh, imagine if that was a timeline where instead of Shaw, it was William that went down in Project Hourglass.
mhm. Yep. So it'd be interesting. I would love to see something like that. I love that idea. And then we get Billy and Shaw back, different timelines, Keiko young, Billy young, and then we have an old Shaw. It
Oh
would be
yeah.
amazing. So, but at the end of this episode, we do get Kong showing up. And what are your thoughts about Kong showing up? It's like him trying to show the balance of everything, and he
Yeah.
knows what's up. So he's trying to get Titan X back to whatever it is. And literally, that's where we're left off with at this
Mhm.
point. You know, I think next episode is going to be a battle between Kong, Godzilla, and Titan X.
Yeah. I would not be surprised. And I have like a few theories of what could happen. Like maybe Kate finally tells someone other than Keiko about her link to Monster X. Finally, maybe crossing
Yes,
my fingers.
yeah.
Because
Her Mickey Saigusa attitude of like I
I've
can
been sitting
communicate.
here, be sitting here these last few episodes, like, come on, tell them already. Why are
Exactly.
you holding them in?
I
Kentaro right there.
I
Tell
think
him.
if she tells anybody, she'll tell Tim,
True, she would.
and Tim would capitalize and work with that, and work with Kate on that to work with the monsters
Yeah.
because Tim has compassion.
Oh yeah.
So I think that Tim would actually endorse the idea of getting Keiko involved and try to get the Titans interactive
Yeah.
and try to do the right thing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm thinking that would be, of all things, a season ender. Keiko
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, I know how to communicate with Titan X. I have a connection."
And they could also lead to like if like Apex is listening in to like Kate saying that and whatnot. I can see them go like, maybe that's what we're missing
Yeah,
for maybe that's what we're missing. And then when they get when Simmons gets the Ghidorah skull, they're like, no, that's no, there's two things that we were missing.
yeah.
Let's combine them somehow.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling that it's gonna be a while. I
Yeah,
think
definitely.
the last episode will leave us on a cliffhanger with a monster or a Titan, and it's gonna be like either damaging, bringing us closer to what we need for Monarch to do what it needs to do.
I think if they go for a third season, it would have to be like um in between Kid the Monsters and GBK, or between GBK and New Empire,
Yeah,
because those two are like the biggest gaps I can think of. Because I know in
they have to tie everything
GBK,
in. Yeah.
yeah, GBK takes place in 2024. So
Hmm.
if they want to build up Mechagodzilla show, that's pretty much when they want to do it. Or if they want to build up something else, it would be between 2024 and I think 2027 is the year the new Empire
Yeah.
takes place in.
Hmm.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's 2027, somewhere around there.
Yeah, 2027, 2028 at that point. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a long ride, everybody.
Oh,
we're definitely bound for more seasons within this particular show, and a lot of people there's a lot of hate going on about the show, and I don't think they're
yeah,
gonna drop it
it's
right away, but I think they need to tie up loose ends for the films so
Mhm.
that way it coagulates and works better within the movies
yeah.
and where they're going. But yeah, those are our thoughts for this particular episode. We are left off on a cliffhanger at a certain point too with this
Oh
particular
yeah.
episode. So if you have any thoughts, obviously send them our way.
Mm-hmm.
But kaiju news, I kind of brought it up earlier about Godzilla minus zero a little bit. So what are your thoughts about what's gonna come to be? Because they're talking about Godzilla being 160 millimeters or 160 meters as what it is now.
All I know is that it's probably like he's probably now gonna be like 100 meters or above.
Yeah,
Which I mean, I also don't mind it because my favorite Godzilla incarnation is 100 meters.
he's huge, and
Well,
that's the
well,
whole thing.
I think it was like 90 meters to 100 or 80 meters to 90 meters, but you know,
That could be one of them, but
yeah,
we could still have a small Godzillasaurus that could still be part of it. You and
yeah,
I both have talked offline saying how this is part of the Toho reign of what they've done before. So with the original 1954 Godzilla, we had Godzilla Raids Again, which
Mhm.
had Anguirus or Anguirus as the other Godzilla because that's how they could talk about Godzilla. So it's a possibility we could have another Godzilla and then one being larger
yeah.
and then taking over. And then we could have a third party, like a third monster involved. And that's how the larger one gets taken out. And then the younger one or the smaller one taking over.
Having two full-grown Godzillas in one movie would be a first in the franchise, which is sad to say, especially if you don't count Godzilla, the first Godzilla in the body of Mecha Godzilla,
Yeah,
aka Kiryu. If you don't count him, would be the first time there'd be two full-grown Godzillas, which
exactly.
I wouldn't be opposed.
Same here.
Especially with this incarnation, because of how territorial this incarnation is. Because I have like this entire fan theory about the Godzillasaurus species of it
Yeah.
being like a social species where they move in like small familial groups. That is helped by one of the books that Tanaka did that had illustrations, and one of the illustrations was Godzilla with his familial group just lasered around before the bomb testing happened.
Yeah.
So for the -1 incarnation, I'm completely fine if they did a opposite of the species dynamics.
It'd be cool. I really
Yeah.
would like to see something a little bit different or close to exactly the same in elimination. And then having an opposing threat, that would be great. And then one surviving the huge battle of three, that would be great. And then the world doesn't know how to handle it, whether it be American or Japanese, because we're kind of led to believe that it's on American shorelines because of the Statue of Liberty at the very end of the teaser trailer. But it shows a smaller Godzilla at the Statue of Liberty, whereas if it was a true larger Godzilla, it would be hovering over Gargantuan
Yeah.
at that
I
point.
mean, I know in that scene he is bigger. I just don't know how much bigger he is. Especially with such a low angle on him.
It was a low
And the
angle that they
statue,
showed
yeah.
him from the Statue of Liberty. Yeah.
Yeah, which is actually pretty clever because it's like a fake out. Yeah,
It
he
is.
starts walking like, oh, okay, he's about to say going behind the statue. Okay, he is bigger. Uh,
He's just rising up at that point, and we just get a lower angle, and we get to see him.
yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting,
Yeah.
especially if the more gnarly looking Godzilla will be like our Godzilla that we've seen in -1, and then with minus
Zero.
if the regular looking minus Goji was a new Goji, it'd be funny if they try to do the same thing like bombs in mouth. It works
Yep.
like, and you'd be like, huh, or I should say viewers would be like, huh. I thought it would have been smarter to not do that. What's that? Oh, it's because that one's ours. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I wish you all luck,
Good luck.
citizens inside this universe.
Yeah, exactly. Salute them. Hello. Have fun. And then good luck. What was that movie that came out recently? Have fun, good luck, don't die. And that's literally what's going to happen within this Godzilla film.
Oh yeah.
I guarantee you there's going to be at least 3 monsters in Godzilla -0. And I guarantee it. That's my prediction. But
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. They're also talking something that happened almost 6 to 7 years ago that they were talking about a shared universe within Toho.
Yeah.
So now they're talking for that to come back around.
Mm-hmm.
And this stems around the Godzilla -1 and the -0 system. So I think they're gonna actually move forward with this with Toho.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking forward to. Means more monsters, more adaptability. I don't think it's going to be more structured, more into the 40s and 50s era. I think they're going to wind up moving more towards close to the 60s and 70s at this point.
Yeah.
And we're going to get more monsters.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be more space-based. I think they're going to be more animal-based. I said, Anguillus or Anguirus. You got Ghidorah. You got Gigan. Gigan still can be something that is human-based, or even King Caesar, Titanosaurus.
With Gigan, they could do for his maybe set it like so far in the future, because in the prequels of the anime trilogy, there was a kaiju that's I think it was Earth based that fought Godzilla once, got beaten. Then the humans, with the with the help of, I believe, 1 or 2 alien races, turned him into Cyborg, which turns him into Gigan. Fight Godzilla again, gets injured again, gets more cyberized, eventually gets to the point where it's entirely cyberized. There's no really much organic things on, at least on the outside. And Gigan was actually a pretty effective protector, even giving his life to protect, I believe, the soldiers he was fighting with.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it could move into more of the 80s, if you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It could, yeah, if it's a lot like that and set like years into the future, like futuristic 2020s, 2010s, because no doubt the appearance of -1 and of Goji in 47 and 49 no
Mhm.
doubt that changed the trajectory of what the world would do technology wise. So I think
Yeah.
maybe even early as like early 2010s, they could have the cyberization down to a T.
Oh, cool.
So
By 1980 versions in comparison into the timeline of everybody, it could jump
yeah,
like 40
yeah,
years or even
yeah.
20 to 40 years. Like 20
Mm,
years later and another 20 years later, they could do
yeah,
that for every movie. And that way it's a new threat or new challenge for whatever
yeah,
they have. Godzilla could be even bigger than it what was before for every film. So if you think Godzilla minus zero and then Godzilla minus one, then to Godzilla minus zero, then they could go to the next impetus, which would be 20 years later of Godzilla showing up and
yeah,
then it being even bigger and then them having to deal with a certain situation and how they could handle it.
yeah. And in all honesty, he could be get to get bigger because his regenerative abilities, I don't think will know when to properly stop. It will always overcome overcompensate, I guess is the correct word. Um, be,
Hmm.
be, because in the novelization of minus one, um, he's already always had those regenerative abilities.
Yes.
Even as a Godzillasaur. I know it's not technically called a Godzillasaur officially, but I'm calling him a Godzillasaur because it's shorter to say than Godzilla Odo form. But
Well, if you think about it, it's like he's constantly mutating, is what
yeah,
it is.
and yeah, and after he gets vaporized by the Baker test
Yes.
from the Crossroads series of tests,
Mm-hmm.
he was like pretty much a mass of meat that starts to regenerate.
Yeah, and it's constantly regenerating and growing. Yeah.
Yeah, and usually it would stop at a sort of point, but because he got that blast of radiation and pretty
Yep.
much flooded with damaged cells and cancer cells and whatnot, it just continued to regenerate him over and over again
Yes.
until
Yes.
finally it deemed Godzilla healed enough to stop. Which is how we get Godzilla being very unnatural with his movements because he has to stand upright instead of the usual hunchbacked, almost dinosaur-like.
Yeah.
He has to walk very unnaturally.
Yep. He'll be almost similar to the Netflix animated version, which is the very largest version that we've gotten from a Godzilla. What did they call that particular Godzilla? I forget the name of it.
Godzilla Earth.
Godzilla Earth. Okay. That is by far the largest version of Godzilla as we know. And I think it measured up to what, over 200 meters or 300?
I think so. It's pretty much all that. And then, trivia, technically, it has Ghidorah as unlimited size because he transcends this immortal realm and comes out of black holes as as noodle necks.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, there's so much to go on with this. And for those of you who want, there's a Netflix of Godzilla. What was it called again?
The movies are just the Godzilla.
The Netflix version, the animated
Yeah.
version.
Okay. Godzilla Earth.
Godzilla Earth is one. You could watch all the Heisei series. What was the original series?
Show.
Showa series. And
Oh,
then,
and oh, go ahead.
good.
Okay. And the other Netflix one, which is Godzilla Singular Point, which is an actual show.
Mm-hmm.
That's really head hurting show, just because of very science technicality, mathematics heavy somehow. And that Godzilla's name is Godzilla Ultimate.
Yeah, the Godzilla Ultimate. Yeah, I still have to watch that stuff. Oh my god. They have the dubbed version, and I probably will watch that, even though I should watch the subtitled version.
I mean, in all honestly, dub with anime nowadays is actually pretty close to the original.
Yeah.
It's just written for American words.
Well, it's written so that we can understand the story plot and everything else.
Yeah.
For those of you guys that are out there, check the Showa era, the Heisei era, the Ultimate era on Netflix, and everything else that Dimitri had mentioned. Honestly, it's all good stuff. And there's a 24-hour YouTube channel that is dedicated to Godzilla. Check that out and have fun. I highly encourage it. Godzilla Day is not until November, but you know what? We got a lot of time, and you got you have a lot of time to have homework and have fun with it. If you like Monarch Legacy of Monsters and love to see the Big J, more than enough time. So, and there's also a lot of legacy movies you could catch up on in between. So, we kind of brought you up to speed of what's going on with Kaiju news. We're right in the moment at this point for podcast recommendations. So, Dimitri, is there anything you could recommend that is not related to you? Something that you would recommend to other people?
I recommend my friend Levi's podcast, Talking Tremors, both the live show on YouTube, which is pretty fun, and the actual podcast on Spotify.
Awesome.
She's very passionate about Tremors.
Yes, she is. Yeah, I do agree with that. Awesome. Cool. I would like to recommend the Wilhelm podcast. Wilhelm with Ben Beck. He's been doing a lot of stuff. He's doing a lot of interviews with celebrities. Have fun. Check them out. Also, check out the Wilhelm podcast of what we did with Monarch Season 1. If you need to catch up, check that out. Go to wilhelmpodcast.com and check out all the other podcasts there. So that's about it for that. Where else can listeners hear us? So, Dimitri, where could they hear you or see you?
I mainly do a channel that is kaiju based, Godzilla Kyru. That is where I do kaiju movie reviews, and my own show, Kaiju Rambles, which we just got done Saturday, April 25th. We got finished celebrating Gamera the Brave's 20th anniversary.
Awesome.
And this week, this Saturday, I don't know what it shall be yet, but I will be having an episode that this Saturday. I do have another channel, which is Power Ranger based, which is, the name is DK TPR Vlogs, or DK The Power Rangers Vlogs. I'm trying to get what I want out of it. Like, do I want to do like reaction reviews on it, or just do discussions, or say creatively, like what I've said before about the Psycho Rangers. I did a video on that recently on that channel, so I'm still working that out. But that's really all you can find and hear from me.
Well, for me, I could be heard always here on Kaiju Cast Podcast, as always. Panels the Pixels podcast, as always, as we continue our coverage with Daredevil Born Again. It could be found on Apple TV. Well, is it Apple? No. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. Sorry, I keep forgetting where we're at. Yeah, you could hear me and Steve Brown cover Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus. not on Disney Plus, but obviously our coverage for it. And then you could hear me on Samacast on Podcastica. You could also hear me on my other podcast, Adrenaline Cinema Podcast, as well. Just recently, we recorded, of all things, The Wraith, 1986. So my friend Frank Rodriguez and I have broke down our thoughts, our ideas, and everything about the movie The Wraith from 1986 with Charlie Sheen, Sherilyn Fenn. So if you like to hear that, just go check that out. Could also be heard on the Pirate Core Entertainment podcast that could be found on the Pirate Core Entertainment Podcast Network, which would be piratecoreentertainment.com. Go check that out. There are a ton of other podcasts that are actually on the website. Check them out. We will be happy for you to hear them. It'd be amazing. Check them out and let us know your thoughts. For you guys to submit your feedback, we did put and posted something here for the podcast on our Facebook group, but you could easily go to our Facebook page, which would be Kaiju Podcast at facebook.com. So that's about it. For Podcastica, you could send a voice message at talk@podcastica.com. And if you head to the podcastica.com, there's a handy voice message link. And there you could just recite your thoughts, and then Jason can shoot them over to myself. And then we could play them on the next podcast. We haven't gotten any, but be greatly appreciated if we did. Check them out on social media, and that would be on Facebook, facebook.com/Podcastica. They can be found on Twitter @Podcastica and Instagram @HousePodcastica. And while you're at the Podcastica.com's website, check out all the other podcasts on the network. I've already mentioned one, Run for Your Lives with Daphne and Paige, House Podcastica. We also have Yellow Jackets WTF. And you have the Cast of Us, or the Walking Dead cast, as it is still again, but they're currently doing a rewatch of The Walking Dead. Where they're at right now, I don't know. I have to catch up with a bunch of episodes, but they're deeply into it. So next up, Dimitri, what are we going to be covering?
We'll be covering Monarch Season 2, Episode 10, the finale, Where We Belong. On May 1st, Kong and Titan X face off in a colossal clash that threatens to reshape Skull Island. Shaw embarks on a dangerous journey.
Well, that's about it for this particular podcast. I just want to thank everyone for listening. I'm Mark.
And I'm Dimitri.
Don't get stomped on, everybody. We'll talk to you guys later.